Hey guys, I want to give a heads up before we start this episode. This is our new weekly breakdown / review of the Halo TV series. So we will be spoiling heavily. So if you have not started Halo, I would recommend turning this off immediately. We're doing episode 1 right now, but this will be at the beginning of every episode. So obviously, as episodes go on, just pay attention to which episode it is. And if you haven't watched that, then I would recommend turning this off because we'll be breaking down each episode and reviewing it and also speaking about the Halo games. So if you are wanting to play the Halo stories or the Halo campaign and care about the stories, I'd recommend not watching or listening to these either. So without further ado, we'll get into the episode here. Welcome to Current Backloggers. I'm your host, Casey P., along with my good friend and co-host, Aaron C. We're here for another review of Halo, this time episode 4, Homecoming.
Oh, yeah. Homecoming.
This is quite the homecoming for us because, as you know, episode 4 was quite a while ago now. But I finally caught the virus, waited more than 2 years, and then caught it when nobody cares about it anymore, and everybody's like, it's gone. I'm like, oh, man.
And when we're doing a Halo podcast, of course.
Yeah, all of our other podcasts got so off schedule. I was like, oh, this one's actually rolling. We haven't missed even a day. We haven't rescheduled or anything. And then
boom, the virus strikes.
Yeah.
I think it waited just for that. It was like, oh, the podcast is going. Let's attack Casey real quick.
We already had the next day lined up to record and everything, and then it all got blown up.
But we're back.
Yeah.
We'll get back on schedule.
We actually had a couple more subscribers as well, so thank you. And if you're already subscribed, if you want to share this link anywhere, it'd be greatly appreciated so we can get some more subscribers.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe.
Yeah. See, you're on it every time. Also, I usually say this for the end, which I might put in there as well, but everything Aaron just said, and comment your HA reviews, how many HAs you get this episode.
Yeah, we want to know about the HAs.
Yeah, I was going to say you can retroactively do it for the episodes before. If you want to go back to other videos we did, feel free.
Yeah, just let us know what you thought. And always give the HAs. I guess that's just the review system we've come up with, and it's been pretty great. So,
anything from episode 3 that you want to talk about before we get into this?
I feel like it's been a long time, but I don't think you had anything.
Okay, the only thing I had, I knew it as I was doing it. Like I said, podcast makes you overthink things, even things that you know. And I know I kept saying Sung Healy in the last episode. I said it like 5 different ways, even though I know how to say it. But like I said, when you're doing this, for some reason, your brain like, oh, shit, and you just overthink everything that you already know, even simple things.
Oh, yeah, I think we talked about the planet, too. I think we got it right, though, Aridness.
Yeah, I think you did. I'm not going to take credit, but yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of pressure with that.
Yeah, it's just shit that anybody I get when even like professional podcasters I listen to. No, I bet the audience is screaming at us. I'm like, of course I am. How the fuck do you not know this? And now that I do my own thing, I'm like, I don't.
It's like I get
the
it.
Most simple things, yeah.
That's why you just gotta write everything down just in case, so you just have your thoughts organized.
Yeah, that's what I try to do, especially on the sports and video game podcast we do.
Yeah,
because I feel like on there, if anybody's actually listening that cares, they'll call you out in a second. And, and I would be that kind of person too. So I know, and I'm like, oh shit, now I need to put everything in here because I know it, but if I don't actually read it, I'm like Ron Burgundy, I need to see it and read it. You want to get into Homecoming here though?
Yeah, let's get into this.
I have it starting out with little kid John in the Spartan camp.
Yep, they're running, doing some training.
Yeah.
They like zoom in on all their faces, all the Spartans, Kai, John, I forget the other 2 names, but
Vanek and Riz.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, I don't know. Well, yeah,
Soren was there.
Yeah.
They show all of them.
Older age.
Yeah, they're just running, doing some training, and then it jumps to Halsey talking to young John.
Yeah, in a cell. It seems to be a trend, these 2 in a cell. I don't know if it's going to get real weird in this show, and they're going to be older in a cell, and things are going to happen, or what. But
yeah. But yeah, they're talking. I guess John tries to run away again. So this is a frequent thing with him, I guess. He's like, I don't want to be here. He wants to go home, and he feels like he's forced to be a Spartan.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had. And she says that she believes he's what it takes to be the leader of the Spartans if he doesn't give up.
Yeah, and that he's the most special Spartan.
Yeah,
which we get a lot in the show.
Yeah.
They're always saying, he's the Master Chief, like stuff like that.
Yeah, she says she's counting on him because he's going to be the one that saves the universe.
Yeah, so at a young age, he's told he's going to save the universe.
I mean, she kind of spoiled the entire series for us. I guess we know what's going to happen now. But
yeah, the universe is going to get saved.
Next thing I had was it cuts to present day Master Chief. Is that you have anything else?
Yep. Current John is what I put.
Okay. In his suit but no helmet.
Yep, no helmet, of course. He's rocking the no helmet look once again. They're just in hyperspace, so they're obviously going to Eridanus.
Yeah. Then Cortana tells him how far away they are from Eridanus. And next thing I had was this real corny line I thought about anxiety.
Oh, yeah. I had something before that where... well, actually, I had two things before that. Halsey was talking to the other scientist dude. I forget his name.
Aiden?
Aiden. They're talking about the artifact, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Not like a super important, but that's basically what they're talking about. And then Chief was just looking at hyperspace, and Cortana starts explaining it. And earlier in the season, we got John. I think Quan Ha says that he's ruining it when he was explaining hyperspace, but Cortana's explaining it, and John's like, "You're ruining it."
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. I actually almost put that in my notes because it was kind of funny. But
yeah. I actually liked it. I was like, this is funny.
But yeah, then it was kind of ruined by, like I said, I thought it was real corny. I know they're trying to get across that he's learned all of his emotions and these things are new to him. But I don't know. This is going to come up a couple other times. I don't know if it's the writing, like dialogue, or if it's delivery or a mixture. But there's just some real weird stuff. Like, is this what anxiety feels like? And I'm like, yeah. Why is this so awkward? I get that, like, this is new to him, but it doesn't make it okay to just be this corny and awkward.
Yeah, he, like, delivers, like, the emotional parts weird.
Yeah. Maybe it's because he's like, why the fuck is this so emotional? I'm Master Chief. Can we... Why is this all just me without my helmet and awkward dialogue?
But he didn't even act like he was anxious, though. Like, Cortana's just telling him, like, oh, your heartbeat's accelerating and all this stuff. And then it's like, you're feeling anxiety. He's like, this is what anxiety feels like. And then he's like, I'm going home.
Yeah, and then it cuts the intro unless you had anything else.
That's all I had for that.
Okay. And then after the intro, it comes back to Madrigal with Quan and Soren.
The great Quan Ha is back.
And I had in here that Soren talks to Quan about his memory being wiped after he left the Spartan program.
Yeah, that's what I had.
And how he slowly got it back. And he tells her that if it was a year before he remembered that his dad died. And then I'm not going to lie, when we all watched as a group, I totally missed this. I don't know if it's because we were all joking about the pilot joke.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Because I completely missed this, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I rewatched this, because he then says it was a year after that he remembered that he was the one that killed him. I feel like that's kind of important to his character, and I just totally missed that one.
Yeah, I missed it also when we were watching it as a group. But I rewatched it, and I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah. Yeah, actually... I mean, obviously it's dark, but I like that as far as like storytelling. I thought that was good.
Yeah, no, that was fine. I just was shocked by it when I watched it the second time. I was like, it just completely went over my head that he just said that he killed him.
Yeah, I have this out as I'm watching it the second time to do notes, so I'm kind of like going back and forth. So I was like halfway watching at that point, and I was like, wait, did I hear that right? And I rewound, and I was like, yep, that's definitely what he said.
Yeah, yeah. And then he says something about memories. I don't remember the exact quote, but
that's the last I had. I know there's more, but that's the last I had.
Yeah, it was just a dialogue. He was talking about how memories... man, I don't remember.
Ironic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, about memories, yeah. But we'll just move on. But he says something about memories. If someone wants to go back and let us know what exactly he says, that'd be great.
Next I had was it went back to Reach. So we had on the UNSC Command Center. You really fucked me up the first time with talking about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think it's that's what I have.
Okay. I'll going forward, I'll just say back on Reach because it seems like anytime it's a Reach, it's always a Command Center. So
right,
I feel it's a little redundant. But we see Kai standing, what appears to be naked. You only see her shoulder up at this point.
Yep.
And then Riz walks in, and they talk for a minute, and then this is another one that I thought was real awkward. Riz asks if she's okay, and Kai says, "I'm fine. I'll see you later." And I can't even do the delivery as awkward as she did. I was, what the fuck is... Have these people ever been... Maybe, again, I don't know if that's what they're going for. Like they're trying to be human. They don't know how to be, but
yeah,
it's real fucking awkward. Not in like, oh, this is interesting. I get that they're learning to be human. Like, it's just fucking weird.
Yeah, they're just... Like, they just don't have the emotional part, but, like... We've seen characters like that in other sci-fi stuff, like Spock. I mean, he's half human, though, so he does. But, not to get into Star Trek. But, yeah, it's really awkward. I'm just like, have you never spoke to a person before?
And I feel like, is Riz a fucking moron? She didn't realize what was going on? I mean, because then the camera pans down, sadly not all the way, so you only see half her ass. And
only half.
And it looked full, I'll say, so I'm sad. I feel like a lot of guys probably think she's unattractive. I don't know. I haven't talked to guys, but I feel like she looks... There's something about her that seems like kind of like masculine or something, but I think she's really attractive.
Yeah, she's not unattractive. She's an attractive person.
But it pans down, and you see that there's a hole where her chip was, and she removed it.
And... Riz was right behind her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
if she didn't see that, then she doesn't have eyeballs because
they're supposed to be like the most advanced people in the world. What's going on? Nothing. Oh, what's that hole in your back where your chip was at?
and all the Spartans know about the chip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so no excuse.
No. And they also just all seem completely natural as walking up with one fully suited and the other one just naked and having casual conversation. Well, what is going on here?
I mean, we saw Kai peeking on Master Chief in an episode, so maybe they just do that. Like that's just their thing. You're like, oh, Spartan's naked. Let me just walk in with full armor.
Yeah,
say what's up.
She obviously recognized what's happening. Cause she's like, oh shit, I need to do that too.
Yeah,
but Riz is just like, wait, what's going on?
What's up? See you later.
Yeah, I can't deliver as awkward as she did, but I was like, oh, no, that was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I feel like all that was supposed to be like what is a big moment in the show, but it's all just kind of ruined.
Yeah, it's a big moment just because we see another Spartan taking the chip out, but the way it was handled was not great. Yeah. But it's good, though. Like, I think it's cool that they had that happen. Because I was not exactly sure what she was going to do after seeing Chief take his out.
Yeah.
Didn't know if she was going to, like, hate Chief for that or, just the reaction. I wanted to see that, so I'm glad they put that in there. But yeah, she's got to work on talking to people.
I'll see you later.
Gonna start doing that normally. Anybody I see you later.
Did you have anything before we go to Aridness?
Nope. Back to Aridness.
Yeah, this we see Chief shockingly still in his suit, but no helmet.
Yep, he's holding it.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually shocked that he was actually at least in his suit, though. I thought maybe like the black suit would come back or something, so I was sincerely surprised.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's in the suit. But the helmet.
Of course. And then the ship lands on Aridness, and he puts his helmet on. Holy shit, here we go. And we talked last week about this might be an action-packed episode and all over the place, and spoilers, it wasn't. Then it cuts to Chief and Halsey and a warthog, and I don't know if you noticed this. I didn't until the second time. Aiden awkwardly sitting in the back and just kind of like bumping around the back of the warthog.
Yeah. I had something. I mean, it's not, but when he put on his helmet, in all caps, I put Master Chief, put on his helmet. But then takes it off like 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
So we got 10 seconds of the helmet.
Yeah.
And then he takes it off.
I noticed him sitting awkward in the back because I don't really understand this world of, like, this storytelling universe of Halo, because in the games, I mean, they don't make it known, but I feel like it just seems, when you're playing, it just naturally seems like the whole world is covered by Covenant, like there is no safe area.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're just not showing it well, or not just the whole world, but the whole universe, galaxy, whatever you want to say, because it seems like they go to so many planets and just have no worry about the Covenant or any enemy or life form being a threat to them, because they're going so casually and take a warthog that every time doesn't have a gunner when they have thousands of warthogs in the UNSC that they could use to have gunners and all this equipment.
Yeah, and you would think, like, the object is possibly on this planet. Maybe we should come in here prepared, not just, let's just drive around with Master Chief and have a good old time.
Yeah, so I think that really started making me think. I was like, man, I know this is his own storyline, so it doesn't have to be the same as a game, but it should make sense and be clear what's happening, even if it's a different story. And I really don't know if it's just supposed to imply that most of the universe is safe and it's not really a war, like, or if they're just not doing that well or just want to get their ridiculous storyline across about all these things that I feel like are kind of pointless.
Yeah, like Quan Ha. But
yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. It seems, because, like, the Covenant are winning the war most of the time, I feel like. The humans are pretty outmatched, besides they have the Spartans, which help, but they're outmatched technologically and stuff like that, and we just, every planet, it's like, oh, they're just not here? Like, like, do they have 2 planets, and this is, like, the start? But, like, it seems like they've been at war for a while, obviously, because the Spartans have experience fighting them, so not really sure.
Yeah, I just made me think that with all these weird things they keep doing. I feel like the more they do these weird things, the more you're going to have to overthink these things that you wouldn't think about normally.
Yeah.
And I had what you had as well. They stop, and off comes the helmet. And Halsey talks about the Reach of Life installation and how it survived. How was it? She said that this one was the only one that, or one of the only ones that survived the pilot program.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember if she said the first or the only. I can't remember which one it was. I should have put that in here. And tells Chief that his parents led the installation. And so I thought that was kind of interesting.
I didn't have that in my notes. So.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't. I heard her say it. I just didn't note it.
Yeah. Again, it shows how different the storytelling is in this, which I know it's his own story. I'm just saying that things like that make it stick out, that how different it is.
Yeah.
And then Chief sees his house and feels like, oh, wait, no. I put my own note here. I said Chief sees his house, and then it feels like there's missing dialogue again because he sees it, and then she's talking. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. She was talking about the installation and how his parents did it, and you would think that'd be like a oh shit moment. And
yeah, he'd be like, really? Oh, my parents? Like, what?
And then he just looks at the house, and then he just starts going to it. I'm like, dude, was the writing like cut out here, or what happened? I feel
I'm
like,
not sure if they cut a scene or something, but they missed something there. Because then he just goes and he's like, I think the object is buried here. He's like, if you look at this part of the balcony, then we can find it, and stuff like that. And I'm like, you just totally ignored her, and she's talking about your parents.
You've never seen The Room, right? It's known as the best, worst movie of all time.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
I'm not going to act like this is The Room because, like I said, it's known as the best, worst movie of all time. But it feels like it at a very small grade at some points, like the missing dialogue and how things like don't connect, and that's what The Room's known for. There's just dialogue that seems so important and just jumps to something totally different, and they just don't acknowledge it at all and just jumps all around. Like I said, that's on its own level. There's nothing can compete with that. So but it reminds me of that when there's just feels like there's just shit absolutely missing. I'm like, what? Wait.
Like, why do we jump to that? It doesn't make sense.
I don't know, again, if this is him not being human, not knowing how people talk and everything, but I still don't think that just makes it okay because it's awkward to watch. And
But he's had his chip out for
yeah,
probably a couple days. I'm assuming it didn't take him like 5 minutes to get there. Like,
yeah,
space travel takes a bit, even in hyperspace.
yeah.
So you would think he's starting to adjust to that, but maybe not. Maybe they're just all that awkward.
Yeah, like you said, starts going crazy and starts searching for, says he thinks he knows where a dig site is because he sees his house and then figures out the dig site has to be near there because of his house.
Yeah.
He's like a little kid and just starts freaking out and just completely misses what she said. Did you have anything else before we go to Madrigal again?
Back to Madrigal.
Yeah, all right.
Soren and the Great Quan Ha land on Madrigal.
Yep, they land their ship, and we see Venture walking around, and I feel like he's walking around as if just to remind everybody that he was in charge and to show everybody to watch their shit. So it didn't seem like...
Well, he just kind of jumped in an SUV.
Yeah, I feel like he was like strutting around before that, and all his like guards were like intimidating people. So I feel like that was what they're trying to get across.
Yeah, he's like the big bad
Yeah.
of Madrigal. I just had something that Quan Ha likes to complain a lot, and it's really annoying because she complains about not landing closer to the city, and Soren's like, we're doing things my way because I made a promise to John to keep you safe.
Yeah.
And I was like, Quan, just shut up. Just stop talking. Like, Soren's fine. I like Soren a lot, but Quan Ha, I'm just like, she annoys me so much. And that just, I was like, stop complaining. Shut up. You're on the planet. You got what you wanted. So that's all. That's all about that.
No, I hear you. I feel like there's a lot in this scene that I didn't put in here. So if you have, I have a couple more things. But I'm saying I feel like a lot of it is just not needed in notes. I noticed when they were going down like this, that alleyway, and there's all those random people, and just kind of seemed like utter nonsense to me. But there was one thing that I noticed. It was this guy freaking out about a helmet. He's like, yeah, look, it's UNSC. And it was totally an ODST helmet.
Yeah, I
was
saw
like,
that.
I was like, that's fucking cool. And
Yeah.
I've actually, all the stuff I've imagined in Halo and talked about on here and everything about the show, I never thought about ODSTs and how fucking cool they would be. Their drop pods coming from the sky and crashing in and just the doors busting off and them coming out. I really hope we get that at some point. That'd be fucking cool. I'm sure it won't happen this season, but
maybe in a future season. Yeah, that'd be really cool. This scene didn't have a ton. They're just kind of walking through an alleyway, and Quan sees someone she knows and starts like, "Oh, the revolution," or "Are you part of the rebellion?" And talking about all this stuff, and the dude just kind of dips, and then they see the bounty on Quan Ha. And then Quan thinks she's really badass and, like, puts up her hood. And I'm like, you're just not.
Yeah, that whole thing was awkward. Is that the guy, before he bails out, is that the guy that says to meet her at her dad's memorial? Is that guy?
I
had
think
that note in here.
Yeah, Atu, I think is his name.
Oh, I had no clue his name, so you got more than me. I just only put the memorial thing in here because it connects to later, so I felt like it would make sense to have it.
Yeah.
That note in here. Anything else before I go back to Reach?
Let's go back to Reach.
Okay. Like I said, that scene, I feel like that was like a probably 10-minute scene with like 2 or 3 notes in there. So there's a lot of stuff we just missed, and that's why when we talk about like how long the Chief doesn't have his stuff on, it might not seem like very long if you just listen to our notes, but this is like so much of the show passing where there's just none of this kind of stuff happening.
Yeah.
But this wasn't a really important scene, but I thought it was cool. All the Marines and warthogs going down that like alleyway.
Yeah,
I thought that was really
cool.
But then you see Kai, and she's cleaning her sniper, and she uses the gun lube to put streaks of pink into her hair.
Yeah.
All rebel-like.
Interesting way to color your hair.
Yeah.
But when you're a Spartan, you gotta do what you gotta do, because they probably don't sell them hair dye.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, because they don't care about hair color.
Yeah.
Until you take out the chip. So she's starting to feel the effects of not having the chip, and she's like, I'm about to style out here. So, yeah, I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad either. So.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it looks nice.
Next thing I had was you see Miranda with the object, and all the Spartans come in real badass-like.
Yeah, with their armor and helmets on. Master Chief needs to learn. I really think we've seen them in their armor more than Chief with their helmets on.
Oh, yeah, we have. Yeah.
So,
That didn't last long either. That's what we'll get to here in a minute, though. because she tells them she needs to see how the object reacts to them to know what makes John so special, if anything. And then I feel like this line was fucking hilarious, but I don't think it was supposed to be. I think, again, it was the delivery. Vanek's like, he's the Master Chief.
Yep.
You know? And then Miranda's like, yes, he is.
I had the same thing. It was so funny. Just like sitting there, seriously, he's the Master Chief.
Yeah, we laughed as a group, and even as alone, I started losing it. He's Master Chief. Yep, you got it.
Yeah. We all know. It's way too funny. It shouldn't be this funny, but it's really funny.
And then Riz goes first, and helmet comes off. Doesn't take long, because, I thought the same thing. I was like, damn, this is badass. You got all of them coming in, and she says she needs to see the emotion. Oh, fucking of course. Here's an excuse to take off the helmet.
Yep. Because they always have to have them off.
Uh-huh.
It's like, why even give them cool helmets if they're just going to take them off all the time? Like, I guess just give them the armor at this point, because who cares about the helmet? They are not like Mandalorians, I will say that.
Yeah, that's I'm glad you said that. That's a note I forgot to put in here. We talked the first couple episodes that I showed it seemed like straight Mandalorian. I feel like I've just forgot about that now, so I feel like it's at least gotten away from just a straight rip-off of Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah,
which
for
is,
sure.
Like I said, I haven't even thought about it, so I guess that's a good thing. It just naturally happened, but I thought it was interesting because I was like, man, this show, first couple episodes were just literally straight-up Mandalorian.
Especially the first one and the second one.
Yeah.
Where Quan was basically Baby Yoda, but now we have no idea what she is. So
yeah, Baby Yoda was without the cuteness and funniness.
Yeah.
I had it cutting back to originalness here. You have anything before that?
Let's see. Yep, back to originalness.
All right. And then that's why I had she says Riz first, helmet off. And then it literally cuts to Master Chief with his helmet on a log. Now, they had to be fucking with us at this point. The helmet off, and then cuts to his helmet off. I was like, you.
As he's digging too,
Uh-huh.
like you would think, oh, I'm gonna keep this helmet on. You know, dirt could fly on your face. Like it's good use of the helmet while you're digging. I'd want a cool helmet while I'm digging.
Yeah,
and he's just like, let me just sit it here and dig.
I don't know if it was last episode or 2 episodes ago. I talked about how it's even weirder that he has it off because he never sets it anywhere. And then he finally does, and the time they do, it's like I said, it's like they're messing with you. Helmet off, and that cuts his helmet off. I'm like, you fucking assholes.
Yeah, they want him to not have his helmet on or something.
Yeah.
And then I just noticed during this scene, John's like doing all the heavy work. Like the Halsey and what's his name again?
Aiden.
Gotta remember his name. But he's just really creepy. I just know him as the creepy scientist guy. But they're just like relaxing. Halsey's like just chilling, like legs crossed, like reading a book, and Chief's just over here like sweating and digging, and I was just like, Halsey, come on. I thought you were there to help him. She said she was, but nah, she's just chilling.
Yeah, you see that because you see like 20 holes around him, so obviously it shows that he's been like going crazy trying to figure out where it's at.
Yeah, he's like working really hard, and she's just like, oh, I'm gonna just sit here.
And then the next hole he dig, he finally finds the case, and then he opens it.
Big white package.
Yeah.
Or container.
Big white package.
Oh, yeah.
Then he opens it and looks at the drawings of the object that we saw in last week's episode.
That he made as a child.
Yeah. And I had it cutting back to Madrigal if you had anything.
I just had Halsey was like, oh, we got to take these drawings back to the ship. And Chief's just like, no.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, I got you. So then we have Quan at her dad's memorial.
Yep, there's a lady singing.
Yeah.
With a bunch of people around. Got candles going. See, I didn't realize it was his memorial the first time.
I don't think I did either, to be honest.
I was just like, oh, they're just having a nice, like, ceremony, just singing. But now that I know it's his memorial, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But you would think that Venture wouldn't let a memorial for him happen.
Yeah.
Which I think during the scene they do come in at
that's what I was going to say. I think the next thing I had is that his whole crew comes in and interrupts it and starts like beating them and grabbing people, unless like they're like trying to arrest him. So I think they realized what was going on. So I think it's supposed to be like an undercover thing that got blown.
Yeah.
I think that's at least how I took it. And then I had it. I feel like Quan grabbed like a lightsaber. It seemed like.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was some dialogue before. I mean, it's not. I don't even know where it fits in the whole plot, but she's just talking to one of her dad's generals, and then she just like, she's asking like, "Where's the resistance? What are we doing? What's the response?"
Yeah.
And she's just like, "There isn't one. Like, we're done." And then Quan just goes off and calls them cowards and like screams really loud. And like, if anyone in Venture's like army knows Quan Ha's voice, she is exposing herself.
And if they're anything like the audience, they know that fucking voice because it just melts in your brain. And
or the
in a good way.
hair.
Yeah.
I mean, like, she stands out.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
Bingo. Anything before we go back to Reach?
No, there's just the fight at the end of that scene where they're just coming in. I think Soren, I don't know. I don't think he pulls his gun yet. But
I don't think so.
I like his gun a lot.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
So then we go back to Reach, and Vanek touches the object or the artifact, and Miranda says nothing happened, just like Riz, and she then says Kai is up next. Helmet off. Yep, of course.
Yep.
And then this is where she sees Kai's hair for the first time and is not pleased at all.
Yeah.
I think it's because she realizes that she's not. Well, I mean, they say it without saying it that she obviously something's happening because Spartans don't make their own decisions and don't do things. So that's why she's so annoyed and worried about her hair changing.
Yeah, I forget the exact dialogue, but she just kind of stares at it, and then Kai's like, "What?" And then she's like, "Your hair," and then it just goes from there. But there's another point in the dialogue where Kai points out that Keyes doesn't like the Spartans very much.
I should put that in here
because I guess they haven't worked together at all till this point, and it's probably because Halsey's off world and she got the permission to look into the artifact. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. So Kai touches the artifact and nothing happens, and then she real sassily says, "Any other tests, ma'am?" as she walks out. And if I was Miranda, I would have been like, "Yeah, you need to touch her with your left hand now," because she totally just touched her with the right hand and walked out. And she was real clear with the other ones. You need to touch with both hands and try it.
Yeah, and with the other ones though, she's like behind the glass and everything, and Kai is just like, "No, you ain't going behind the glass. I'm just touching this and we're dipping. Like, you're wasting my day. I got hair to color."
Anything else in that scene?
That was it.
All right. So we go back to Aridness again. I feel like it's just like back and forth between these three locations.
Yeah, the episode was, which I'll get into at the end. I thought it was paced a little weird.
Yeah, I agree.
With the jumping, but I'll get into that with the overall ha's at the end.
So you see John walking around awkwardly until this is when he's in his house, right?
He's in the house, and he asked Cortana if she can recreate what the house used to look like.
Yeah,
and she says yes, and she can display it on his helmet. So he puts the helmet on.
Yeah,
and I'm like, whoa! He put his helmet on. So that was cool.
Yeah, she says you can show it in his HUD if he puts his helmet on. And Halsey warns him that not everything he sees will be true memories. And he puts it on anyways. And like you said, we get to see him in his helmet, and it was cool. And then you get this really cool view through his visor. I feel like this looked really video gamey, but in a good way.
Yeah, it was, because sometimes you get the video game look, and it's like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But this was good.
Yeah. Of the whole house filling in from what it used to look like, or potentially memories that were not real that he imagined or wanted to imagine, like Halsey warned him about. So then he starts walking around the house, looking at different areas. Then, as cool as that was, they had to, again, find a way to make it weird by doing the Iron Man thing where they went inside his helmet now and just get this weird side angle. I feel like they're just trying so hard to show emotion and not realizing that you can do that through a helmet without seeing his face. I feel like
and like Mandalorian, you get that.
Yeah.
And I'm just using that as an example because Mandalorians keep their armor on if no one's seen it and don't know much about Mandalorians. And the armor's similar. So you can show emotion with the suit on. So, yeah, I'm not sure why they're doing it this way. They just want us to know his face really well for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so many examples of it working, kind of like in the Halo games where they never show his face.
At all.
And, and you can tell what emotion's going through his head and what's happening, especially that's why Cortana was there, because to help with the emotion and to get things across, and it worked perfectly in the game. So,
yeah.
I'm not sure why they think they have to do like not just a 180, but like a 1230 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But then he's walking around and you see him in Iron Man style, and then you see his family and the infamous white dog.
Oh yeah, named Ellie, I think.
I didn't catch the dog's name, so you're probably right.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard. But so the dog is a female. Just a random point, but
and then next thing I had was that Chief sees Halsey with Little John in his house, and John starts freaking out, and that's where he takes off his helmet. Well, Halsey asks him if he's okay, and John takes off his helmet, and you can tell he's real upset because she was in the house.
Yeah, and he has a ton of flashbacks during this scene.
Yeah.
There's him running with the dog through the house. There's one where he's drawing the artifacts some more.
Yeah.
Some of his parents, and then there's just a ton of flashbacks. Halsey does ask Cortana at one point during that scene if she's still projecting.
Yeah.
And Cortana's like, no, this isn't. This is his memories that he's seeing, which was kind of weird. Because he was like posing while he was remembering things.
Yeah, the one I remember the most is, hopefully you're watching this, is when he's down on one knee and he just does this for like a minute. Why are you doing that?
He's like touching something. And I'm like, is this how Spartans remember things? Because I'm pretty sure we could just see the flashback and not have to see him. You know, I thought it was a little weird.
It was. You have anything before we go back to Reach?
No, let's go back to Reach.
Okay. So this is a scene where you see Silver Team all with their helmets off, of course.
In a cool science lab.
Yeah, with Miranda. You see an Elite on a table. What's on another table? Elite's arm maybe was cut off.
Yeah, there were like arms. There were different weapons.
Yeah. There's the worms that form into the hunters. They had those in like tubes. You see a carbine rifle in a case.
Yep.
Which is a weapon we have not seen yet, and they're Covenant weapons. Obviously, that's why they're in the laboratory to like do diagnostics on them and look over what they are.
Yeah, and I saw, I don't know, it was a small shot, but there's like a computer and it shows the picture of the I think plasma rifle.
Oh, really? I didn't catch that.
Yeah. I think that's what what's the Elite's name? Arbiter.
Yeah.
He uses that. If you play as him in Halo 3, that's the weapon you get instead of the typical assault rifle.
Yeah. The most obvious weapon in this scene, of course, is the Needler because they hold it and talk about it.
And I liked that a lot. I liked that scene.
Oh, yeah. I liked how they described, for people that don't know what the Needler is, how it is like a honing, like heat-seeking missile that attached to them, and then once they get enough on it, it'll explode and explode them from the inside.
Yeah, which is brutal.
Yeah,
like really brutal.
I think you talked about in one of the earlier episodes how I hope when I saw how violent this was, I hope the Needler is one of the weapons they do that with and go over the top and just like explode them from the inside.
Exactly, just blood everywhere.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. But when she picks it up, Keyes is all like, oh, what are you doing? And she's just explaining it, and there's no like ammo in it.
Yeah.
And she's explaining how you load it and stuff, and I thought it was cool.
I thought it was worse the first time I saw it. I didn't think it's as bad the second time. I thought the Needler looked a little too big. I know in the games that it can be that way. Like some of the weapons, if you look at scaling and the weapons in some of the games, it's laughable at some of this stuff. Like original Halo, you should go back and look at it. There's this fantastic scene in Halo 1. It's the first level. The chief, he's on Pillar Bottom still, and Cortana's talking to him, and she asks him what he's going to do because like, the whole ship's going down, everything's falling apart. I can't remember his exact line, but something like badass line. Oh, I got something for this. And he starts tossing a grenade, but the thing's the fucking size of a pineapple, and he's just tossing it in his hand. Like, Jesus Christ.
I know what you're talking about.
And there's a few weapons like that in Halo. The scaling's real weird, but I don't think that's an excuse because, as we've seen the show countless times, they don't just follow the show or follow the game.
Yeah.
So I feel like where things are weird in the game, maybe scale down a little in the show, especially since you're already doing stuff you shouldn't.
Yeah, and with the needler, did you think it looks too small or?
I thought it looked too big. The first time I thought, I don't know if it's because we were in a group and I wasn't paying as close attention. I was laughing at how big it was. The second time, I just thought it could have been a little smaller. I didn't think it was as bad the second time.
Yeah, it did look big, and I was thinking, usually grunts use needlers or they use the plasma pistol.
Yeah.
So I was like, grunts are pretty small.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Spartans are supposed to be like hulking beasts. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, shouldn't a grunt be able to hold? It shouldn't be the size of a grunt's face. It should be, to scale for the grunts, I feel like.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll see a grunt holding it and they'll change the scale.
Yeah. Speaking of grunts, they start talking, the Spartans do, about what grunts say when they see it. Did you want to attempt to try and say what they said? It was real awkward, so I didn't put it in here.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to try. I didn't put it in here either.
It's made up, so I don't know why they made it so ridiculous and sound like some slur or something, but it's some ridiculous way that they say Needler and Sung Healy. And Miranda freaks out because she can tell that they knew a word in Sung Healy. And I think it was last episode we talked about, maybe 2 episodes ago, that the UNSC was clearly trying to figure out translation for Sung Healy.
Yeah, because they picked up something from the Blessed one.
Yeah.
A transmission, I think, is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, so they start talking about, the Spartans do, about what the grunts say when they see the Needler, what they call it. And like I said, I'm not going to repeat it because I don't know what the fuck it was. But
yeah. They mentioned grunts a bit in this conversation.
Yeah.
Crap, I can't remember. Who's the other guy? I can't remember his name. Vanek. I'm gonna list all their names. So
he's a Master Chief.
Yeah. But he talks about, have you ever heard a grunt plead for his life?
Yeah.
He says pathetic.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything before we go back to Madrigal?
No, that was it. I like that scene though. I really liked that scene.
One. This scene I wish didn't exist. It's Venture. This whole scene just. All right, now speaking of the room, when I was talking about how I was not trying to dishalo that much because it's on a whole different scale, this scene was straight up the room. There's an infamous scene in the room where Tommy Wiseau, the actor, director, writer, producer of the room, everything. The joke about him is that nobody knows if he's from this planet, like the real person, because he's so fucking inhuman and weird, and his body looks so awkward. And Venture was like this. He was in this giant pool smoking a cigar, and he's talking to this girl, and then he starts awkwardly, does this fucking alien-looking walk. And then, of course, we see his full ass. And it's not just because it's a guy. Like I said, showing the chief, I get he's a good-looking guy. But there's this good-looking girl in this episode, and you tease it, and you don't show it, and then you show the longest ass yet of this alien-looking man coming out of this pool while he's smoking a cigar, and then throws in the pool like a fucking heathen.
Yeah, I was like, so unsanitary, man. Like, come on.
It was so wild that he starts walking to this girl, and then she's just supposed to robe him. I was like, God, they're going to fucking flip this camera. We're just going to see it all, aren't we?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah, because the scene was so ridiculous, so I really didn't know what they were going to do. But he's talking to this girl. Do you know who this girl is?
I didn't get a name.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe she's his second in command, some type of military commander.
Yeah.
Because basically the conversation is they're talking about Quan Ha, obviously. So important. But they're talking about Quan Ha and how he's like, you got to and he knows Soren is there. I'm not exactly sure how he knows they're there.
Yeah.
But he's like, you need to handle this, and that's basically what the conversation between them was.
Yeah. Yeah, she talks about how there's already a bounty on her. He said that Paramount says that it doesn't hurt to have more people going after her, and that you trust her. And he's finally robed, and that scene ends, and it was like a 2-minute scene that felt like it was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and they cut back and forth between it too, though.
Yeah.
They would like cut to Kwan Ha, and then cut back to this weird hot tub scene. Just this man walking naked, and I was like, this is really out of pocket. I was not expecting it, and I feel like everybody at the group wasn't expecting it either. We were just all, what in the world is going on right now?
Even when he was in the pool, I thought he was gonna maybe walk towards her and then it's gonna like cut off at his stomach or something. But
yeah, no, they
kept going.
Yep.
But
during the scene before that, Kwan Ha needs to find her aunt, and I think Soren's ship is getting torn apart also.
Oh, okay.
So they don't have a ship, and then Kwan Ha really likes to comment on Soren being a pirate. Like, she says it like whenever she can. And I'm like, you just need to shut up. Like, she's just so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, one of the most hated characters of all time for me. And I will not stop the hate on her. I feel like she has no purpose in this show. So I'm just gonna point that out often.
All right. Anything before we go back to Reach?
Yeah, we can go back to. Wait, let me see. Oh, there was a. Wait, There's more Madrigal stuff.
Yeah, feel free to add anything you want.
People just randomly attack Kwan and Soren, and Soren dodges their attacks and does some really cool Spartan stuff. But it turns out it's Kwan Ha's aunt.
Yeah.
Troops or whatever. So yeah, they find her. And yeah, that's about it for that. That's all I had.
All right. So then we go back to Reach, and Miranda still working the translator. And Silver Team talks about how they used to have fun because Miranda says something about Halsey, or she said something about how they're Spartans, they can't have any fun and they just are all the same and no emotion or anything.
Yeah. And
they talked about how they used to have tons of fun and they used to have animals together and dogs and they used to do all kinds of stuff, but Halsey made them get rid of all that. That's essentially what they said.
Yeah, I mean, they played like a game, and you were out in the wilderness, and if you lost, you had to kill your pet.
Yeah.
Vanek, that's his name. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get it. He has a pig, Ivan the Terrible, I think was his name. And he never lost, and Keys is like, oh, so you got to keep it. And he's like, no, Halsey executed it.
Yeah.
And I was like, woo, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the whole point they're trying to get across is that Spartans can have, and they say it, Spartans can have no connection to anything.
Except each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. It was a cool scene. I like the explanation. I was like, oh, poor Ivan. And how many innocent animals were slaughtered in the Spartan program? Must
be why Chief's so fucking fascinated by his white dog.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he got to keep his white dog. Or maybe that's how the white dog dies. We don't know. We could see that in a flashback.
Anything before we go back to reading this? I know we're just jumping all around.
Yeah, it's just jump. Yeah, back to Aridness.
All right, so, Chief's talking with Halsey about how he saw her in the house. And she tells him that must have been one of the memories she was talking about that kind of hallucinate or imagine. And I feel like they're implying that she's lying and it was real. And
yeah, she's definitely lying. That's just like her cop out every time Chief remembers something about her. He's like, oh, that's fake. That's not real.
Yeah, because she talks about how his memories must be getting mixed up from when they were at camp and him being at his house. And he says, no, you were here at the house. And she goes, no, you're just merging the memories. But Yeah, she obviously was there.
Yeah, she was definitely there, and he's realizing it. You can definitely see on his face that he knows she's lying.
Yeah.
He's just not saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Because even during this episode, he's just kind of not listening to her. He's doing his own thing. I mean, like, she keeps saying, oh, let's go back to the ship, or let's do this, and he's just like, no.
Yeah.
It's like a little rebellious kid.
And before we go back to Madrigal,
Back
for one
to-
part I had,
Yep, back to Madrigal.
this is where whatever that girl is tries to kill Quan, and she breaks in and kills. Is that her aunt? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She slits her throat and then tries to get Quan and fails.
Yeah, and did you understand the scene where Quan and her aunt are just talking about General Ha?
No, I almost put that in here, but I was like, I don't know if this is something we're not supposed to get yet, so I just didn't put it in here because I didn't understand what was happening.
I was like, what is going on in the scene? She's just talking about her father, and is like, he went and met some mystics.
Oh, it even cuts, and you get a look, and I still don't know what I'm seeing. He just starts like slicing people, and I'm like, okay, what?
It was a really wild scene and pointless, and I don't get it. And then Quan's like, where can I find these mystics? And they're talking about the prophecy of the Ha family, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Has nothing to do with Master Chief. The whole point of Halo is the Spartans, Master Chief, the Covenant, and we're just getting this random plot line on Madrigal that's so stupid. So yeah, I don't know what that scene is. If anyone has any insight, please let me know.
And let's be honest, we know Quan's never going to die, and chances are Venture will probably die, probably by Quan or Master Chief, so probably more like a Quan, but either of them.
Yeah, I doubt Master Chief even gets to Madrigal.
Yeah.
But we can get into that later.
Anything before I go back to Aridness?
Soren, during that scene, though, when the lady comes in and assassinates her aunt, Soren shows up and shoots her really epically.
Oh, yeah.
Pulls out his pistol, shoots her, and she like jumps out the window.
Yeah.
Cause she's like, "Oh, I can't." She's like, "I can't take on Soren, it's a Spartan." I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And then also then Soren gets Quan Ha out. He's like, "Yeah, fuck your aunt, we're leaving." And they just get on a motorcycle, and there's a pretty decent chase scene that I thought was cool.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
But it was only because Soren was on the screen, not because of Quan Ha. But yeah, that's all I had.
All right. So we go back to Aridness, and she says he remembers where the second object is, and it's on Aridness. And then he puts his helmet back on, and they all get in a warthog together, start sailing off, and then it cuts to Reach, unless you had anything.
Yeah.
So that was just a quick thing to...
I just think at the watch parties, we should clap every time he puts his helmet on from now on. I think it's really appropriate at this point, because we just don't know when we're going to see him with it on.
Yeah, I think... I comment on it so much. I mean, even if it gets to the point where he's wearing it majority of the time or even half the time, I don't think I'll put notes in here about when he does and doesn't. I'm putting him in here just to emphasize how little he's actually wearing it. Like I said, I talked about it like 4 different times, but if you pay attention, there is so like 60% of the episode passing where you don't see him in any of it. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And that's why I'm pointing it out too. Like,
yeah,
I notice it. I'm like, oh, is he gonna put it on? Like, come on.
Yeah.
The only thing I had is Aiden and Halsey were looking at Master Chief's brain scans, and they were just looking at his brain activity and showing that he was remembering stuff.
Yeah.
That was it. It's a good tiny detail.
Yeah. So then we go back to Reach. There's more translating being done, and then Miranda is talking with Kai about the message from the Blessed One, and
hashtag the Blessed One.
We miss you
a lot,
and especially one part.
Yes,
fucking true. But then they start talking about the sacred ring, and I think this might be the first time they say Halo which is wild to think about. And then you hear the Halo like chore music kick in.
Yeah,
and it was really good. Only subtle. I mean, not subtle. It was very clear, but very momentarily.
It was very quiet, and the scene was definitely intentional.
Yeah,
and because they're looking at it, and it's a picture of the ring. They talk about the sacred ring, and then Kai is like Halo. And it's like, oh crap! They said the name.
Yeah, first time we've heard it mentioned, and still haven't seen Halo, which is wild to think about because I know, like I said, I keep referencing the games, but not because like, oh, they didn't match the games, but just to show how different they are.
Yeah.
In Halo, you're on the Pillar of Autumn for the first level, and then the second level, you land on Halo. So
it's like really quick.
Yeah, we're almost halfway done with this season, and we haven't seen Halo and just heard Halo.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's okay. I like what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's different, but it's good at times.
Then Miranda asked Kai if she can keep this from Halsey, at least for now, which I think that's code for always, but Kai doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that she knows that there's like this feuding war happening in the background between these two.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't. She has no idea.
Yeah. And Kai agrees to it, I think, because she's rebelling, but I don't know if she, like we talked about, if she would agree if she knew everything that was going on.
Yeah. It's hard to tell. I think she's really just looking for a friend during this episode, and Keys is kind of there. I mean, at one point, she's like, we're basically sisters, I think, during that scene.
Was it just me, or was there some weird sexual tension happening?
There, just a little bit.
I feel like they might actually try and do it, which I think is going to be real awkward if they do that. But
yeah, Halsey's going to feel really weird about that. But yeah, just a little bit awkward sexual tension. Not sure what they were going for with that.
Yeah.
But I like Kai's character overall.
Yeah.
It's a cool, like, different perspective.
Yeah.
From a different Spartan, so I like it.
No, I'm with you. Anything else before we head back to Aridness for the end?
Yep, back to Aridness.
So they're driving over at Hogstill, and then they suddenly stop when they get to this giant hole. And Chief jumps down there a little awkwardly.
He jumps down and lands perfectly. I noticed this immediately. Like, perfectly. Perfect landing. He didn't climb or anything. And then later in the scene, but we'll jump back to the rest of it. Halsey goes down, and she has to, like, crawl down it. And I was like, Master Chief can either jump really well, or they just forgot that there was something to climb down.
Yeah, I think that didn't line up, and I think his hop just looked fucking awkward. It looked like it was like a bunny hopping into something, or like a cat that's like waiting.
So maybe Chief is part bunny?
So Chief goes underground, like you said. Halsey follows him, and then he finds the second artifact.
Oh, yeah.
And then Halsey's behind him, and she's staring right at his helmet. And Cortana, well, it's weird because I feel like they're implying Cortana, but Cortana's not in his helmet in the show, so I felt like that was kind of weird. But I feel like they were showing that she's on to John, and that that's why I took it as like her like, oh, you better not step out of line anymore. I felt that was like her warning.
Yeah, but there's a line as that happens at the end, and
Was there?
Because the scene with Keys and Kai is kind of at the same time.
Yeah,
because this episode jumps all over the place.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even know how to really do notes.
But the end line, as she's staring at Chief's helmet, is, and Keys says this: "If I know Dr. Halsey, she doesn't tolerate glitches."
Yeah,
and then it zooms in on Chief's helmet.
That's context that helps. Yeah,
yeah, because Kai was like. They're talking, obviously, because she's like, oh, this act of rebellion that Kai's doing, and then that's when she says the glitch line, and then it zooms in. So
yeah, which makes you like think like I was saying that. She's
like,
step out of line anymore. Obviously, he doesn't know that, but must be seen behind it know that.
So that was interesting, and then a nice ad by Paramount Plus plays, and then we get the credits.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the episode.
That was the episode.
Yeah.
Jinx, did you go first last time or me? I can't remember.
I went first last time.
Did you? Okay. So I didn't hate this episode. I think it's good. As you heard me talk about, I think there's many things they could have done better in this episode.
Yeah.
And weird pacing issues, like you said. I would say 6 Haas. I think it's good. I just think left a lot to be wanted, especially with if you heard us talking in episode 3 about what our expectations were.
Yeah, because with episode 3, I was expecting more action in episode 4. So they disappointed with that. And then the pacing issues really it took me out of it at times because you get this really good scene with Master Chief and then it would just jump to Madrigal. And I don't care about Madrigal. I feel like a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of confusion of, okay, how does this play in with the overall story? When we're jumping to Kai, it's like, oh, this is another Spartan. This connects with Master Chief. I don't think Quan Ha really connects, except they met in the first episode, and then he just dumped her off in episode 2, and it's like, was this just to have a random plot point or another random plot, and maybe it'll connect later? Because it doesn't seem like it's connecting.
Yeah, they seem like they're 2 different stories kind of just in the same show.
Yeah, and it's really, really weird.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see it. Like, when I see Madrigal, I'm like, oh, great, here we go again. But, you know, when I see Spartans or anything with the UNSC and Master Chief or Cortana, I'm really excited. So the Madrigal stuff, I don't like it. It makes me rate the episode a little bit lower than you, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I have it at 5 Haas out of 10.
That's the first time you've been lower than me, right?
Yeah. And the reason, and not that the episode's terrible, because it's not. There's really good parts about it. And that's the Master Chief parts, and even some of those were a little corny, but
And Venture's ass.
yeah, Venture's ass kind of knocked it down. But just the Madrigal, I feel like they're wasting time on it where they could put, because we didn't get any blessed one in this episode.
Yeah.
If you're gonna I think they should have done where you're cutting to the blessed one, Kai, Master Chief, because that story connects. You're going to Madrigal, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's wasted time to me, because it's a 50-minute episode, and you're jamming all these plot lines, and one of them doesn't seem to matter.
No, I hear you.
So, that's why I gave it lower. I'm hoping that it gets better in the next episode.
Yeah, I hear you. Which we will be watching 5 and 6 in just a couple of days now. And next week we'll be doing 2 episodes of the podcast for episode 5 and 6.
Yeah, you guys get a nice treat of 2 episodes.
Yeah, so to make up for this one being a little late and 5 being behind. And then should be back on schedule. No second virus happening.
Yeah.
No flood coming in, you know?
Yeah, right. Oh, that would be scary.
Anything else that you want to add? Talk about?
I will say, so even though I gave it 5, it's just because of the Madrigal stuff. Just want to make sure that everyone knows that. But I think all the Spartan things are really cool, and they're leading up to action. Fingers crossed, because we said that last episode. But hopefully we see some grunts and, you know, maybe brutes or jackals. Just a little bit more action maybe towards and the blessed one. Miss her a lot. So hopefully we get her again.
Feeling a little blessed myself.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, well, if you could like, share, subscribe, yeah, all that jazz.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe.
Comment how many ha's you would give this episode.
Yeah, let us know if you got higher than 5 ha's, if you gave it 10 ha's. Maybe you like Quan Ha. Let us know.
If you do, then the ha system would be perfect for you.
Yeah, you could really get a ha out of that.
Bam. All right, we out of here then?
Yeah, I think we're out of here.
See you later.